For anybody that's confused, I want to tell you what black people have a problem with, or what bothers black people. It's not that black people have any issues with the laws. It's not that black people don't understand right and wrong. It's not that black people want to see every single person, that's black in court get off free. Like, it's not that. What the issue is the double standard.
If Karmelo Anthony had been white, not only would he have not been convicted, there'd have never been charges. This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Well, I hope it's better. I really do. Whole thing was a goddamn tragedy, and it was started by the kid that died. But if Karmelo Anthony had been white and the other kid had been black, these same people that are calling Karmelo Anthony a murderer would be celebrating him all over social media as standing up. Yeah. Young man, 14-year-old man by the name of Carmack Belton was his last name. Was chased down in South Carolina. Chased. The guy had to chase him and shot him in the back. Guy that shot him was white. Belton was black. That jury said self-defense because he was white. The only reason Karmelo Anthony was convicted was because we are a broken, fucking, bigoted country, and Karmelo Anthony was black.
If it was Metcalf with the knife and he stabbed Karmelo Anthony, you would have found every reason to justify why he should have a knife on him for self-defense and to protect himself. We know this because, case in point, the Kyle Rittenhouse case, when he was in Wisconsin and took an assault rifle at 17 years old to a Black Lives Matter protest and shot 3 people, killing 2 of them. Y'all had every reason in the book to defend him and say why he was justified in this. He sought this out. He had no reason to be there. He wasn't hired to be there. He went looking for trouble. If Metcalf was the defendant, it is more than likely he would have gotten off with self-defense. Because in this country, and definitely in our criminal justice system, we overhumanize and even infantilize white boys and white men while actively dehumanizing and criminalizing black boys and black men.
The main thing that the Karmelo Anthony conviction has proven to people is that these southern former slave states stand your ground laws are just excuses for white people to kill other people, especially minorities. What Karmelo Anthony did does not hold up to my own personal standard of self-defense. I don't think it was self-defense. But according to law in the state of Texas, it does meet self-defense standards. And when the government applies the law differently to black people than it does white people, that is classic American racism and discrimination.
The only reason Karmelo Anthony was found guilty is because he's black. I've looked at that case extensively, looked at the details. It's because he was black. Period. If you don't like that, argue with your motherfucking mama.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know people always say things like, and I hear this comment a lot, like when a lot of black people kind of roar up when certain things are in court, kind of like the whole Karmelo Anthony case in recent cases like it. And a lot of people will say, well, hey, when black people are killing black people on a regular basis, like y'all aren't saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it sound like black people want to pull the race card all the time. But even in those situations, that's not the truth. Because when you think about it, no race, when their own people are doing that kind of dirt or really raising the types of hell that they are, as for example, when it's different races in certain type of crimes, like when there's white on white crime or there's these school shootings, you don't see these mass amounts of white people saying that, hey, you know what, these people that are shooting up these schools are thugs, or calling them all kind of names and saying, it just don't happen. And the reason is because Like when certain things go down, like let's say for example, black on black crime. Black people are killing each other every day, which is out of control. But it's like us as black people understand that the law is gonna be the law in that situation. Like they're gonna have fair juries and everything. Like it's gonna play out how it's supposed to play out. Even when there's, white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime or whatever, everybody understands that if both parties are the same race and it goes to court, the court system is going to play out exactly how it's supposed to go, how it's supposed to play out. But when it comes to black and white or black and Asian or white and A or whatever, then people like people's radars begin to go off. Black, white, Asian, you name it, every race. People's radars begin to go up because they know it's going to be some different things going on. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of black people understand it. Hey, you know what? Since it's a black and white issue, like ears are raised because I understand that the system is getting ready to do something else. I understand that the system is gonna create new loopholes and look over certain things, and like people understand that on the black side. On the white side, you have some people saying, hey, you know what? We need to make sure that we set an example. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this first. Let me say this first, because y'all know my position. I'm not some pro-black, guy. I'm not some guy that believes in white supremacy. I don't play those games. Like to me, those games are rudimentary. I would have to dumb myself down to even think like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not pro-black. Like I believe in oneness. I believe there are niggas in every race. You got some black people, man, they don't represent me. So like when I see Asian people, saying, hey, well, black people are doing this. I understand why they're doing that. But what they're doing is they're looking at a small percentage of people that are just acting ignorant, and they're putting it over the whole race. When black people look at white people and say, all these white people are racist, that's ignorant. Because you're speaking to a small group of white people that are just nigga. So I understand why certain people look at certain people and think certain things. I get it, but that's some ignorant thinking to me. That's ignorant thinking to me. My thing is, I'm like, if you move in the same way I move, if you've done a certain level of inner work, you my brother and sister. I don't care what color your skin is. You know what I'm saying? Because I got some white partners that's rolled with me harder than a lot of brothers have. They move like I move. They see the world how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all on the same. Like once you get to a certain level of enlightenment or awareness, all that black white stuff it really fades away. But I understand a lot of people are still playing that game. So that's why I'm speaking to this, right? That's why I'm speaking to it. And really what I'm getting down to, I want to get down to what I'm trying to say is, like, and I'm speaking to black people now. Like you have to understand, and I'll say this, and I said this in the last video or whenever I made that video. Like you have to understand, everybody is just, let me say it like this. You can't take all this stuff personal. When you start taking every single thing personal and you begin to let your emotions get involved in what this world is doing, you have no idea how quickly you've taken an L. How quickly you've taken an L. And I'm saying black people, but to be honest, it's the same thing. Like when every race, when you allow the system to put you in a state where you can look across the line and see your brother and sister is different and you're angry because you have no idea how far in left field you are. You have no idea how far in left field you are. You know what I'm saying? And like to my black people, I'm gonna say this. Like, people are always, first let me say this, because that's what I was getting ready to say. When I said don't take it personal, what I mean by that is, and I said it last video, you have to understand that everybody is simply playing the cards they were dealt. And it's a matter of getting to a certain level of understanding to back when you're on that field where it's like everybody is, like I see everybody for what they are. Like I'm glad there are different races. Like in the back of my mind, I would think, hey, it'd be nice if the world was one race. I'm glad there are different races. because it lets you know where people are. It lets you know if they've arrived yet. And I'm going to say this to my black people that are still, I'm going to say this. If you're picketing, if you're marching, if you're, doing all these marching across Selma type, man, you have no idea. Like, you're actually buying into the system. You're playing the wrong game. You're playing the wrong game. Like to get ourselves out of the situations we're in, we can't play the same game of the system that we're saying is not fair to us. Like, that makes no sense. But what I'm saying is, when I say don't take it personal, you gotta understand everybody was just put on this earth and put in the skin they were in. Like, if you don't look at this world as a game, if you can't gamify this thing and just say, hey, you know what, this is my character, this is how I'm going to get out of this situation, like, this is how I'm going to change my world, then you can't even be enjoying life. You gotta understand, this is all a game, man. And if you take it personal, you're about to get lost in the sauce. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because this. I'm gonna say this. Like, us as black people, man, we'll march and chant and do all these things. We'll say things like, well, Asian people keep coming to our communities and building this and putting this there. It's like, well, why aren't you doing it? Like if you wasn't online saying every white person is racist or boycott Asian stores, which makes no sense. You could be out building something. But you got to understand, even within the black community, we've played the game so long that we shouldn't be playing. It's destroyed our community. Well, all we can do is cry and march. That's why we aren't building anything. If you look around at everybody else is building. Like, I can remember back in the days from Texas, right? I can remember, and anybody from Texas or maybe even California can relate to this. I can remember in Texas when I was young, people were complaining about Hispanics or Mexicans coming from Mexico and they're coming over and taking our jobs and da 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 da. It's like, man, why are you separating? Anyway, like in Texas, all I can do is speak for Texas. Like the Hispanic or the Mexican, I don't want to say that wrong. Came from Mexico. The Mexicans that relocated to Texas, brother, they have infrastructure. They build. They're deep. They're 2 or 3 families in a house. Then they're buying land. Then they're putting more houses. They're building businesses. They're building. But all we're doing is marching and crying and twerking. And then when something happens, all we want to do is cry and preach injustice and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that aren't fair, because it's just the cards we've been dealt. But you can't win that game playing that game. You have to take your cards and play a completely different game. Like, and I'm not saying nothing brand new. Like, what I'm saying now is what I've been saying for the last 5 to 8 years. I've never said it like this, but I've been giving you the instructions. You're trying to win a game that wasn't even set up for you. You know what I'm saying? And this is not about a hating any other race, because it ain't about that. To hate any other race just because they're a different color is beyond me. I can't even make sense of that. From any side, I can't even make sense of that. You know what I'm saying? But you have to play a different game. What do you mean, so play a different game? I'm gonna tell you how I learned about this, man. My mom put me on game. I'm gonna tell y'all this. A lot of stuff I talk about, man, is strictly from either what my mom taught me or what she demonstrated in her actions. And I can remember this. Like, y'all gotta understand this. I'm born and raised in Texas, East Texas. And you have to understand, like, the stuff that happened with this whole Karmelo case. Let me pause first and speak on that, right? Just so y'all can know my position on that. Do I think brother Karmelo? First, let me say rest in peace to the brother that passed away, because, like I said last video, nobody should have died, right? Do I think Karmelo got a fair trial in the whole situation? Definitely not. If you understand how Texas works, specifically East Texas, all the way over to Collin County, Frisco, all that, brother, it's so one-sided. Like it's like some stuff you would see on TV from the 60s or the 50s. It's so one-sided. It's so brother-in-law and rub elbows, man, that it's crazy. But do I think he got a fair trial? No. Am I sitting there saying he should be walking free? I can't say that either. Like, I think the defense did such a poor job, we really don't know what happened. Like, they didn't even present enough information to me. So I can't say that a jury should have just let him go, because the defense made no effort to build a case to just let him go. Do I think he should have got first-degree murder? Definitely not. And the thing is, going back to what I was saying at first, it's not that black people just want to see people free, but it's like when you start matching these cases up, it's like all black people want is fairness. All they want is equality. And it's like it's pure. Like, it's insane to me for anybody of any race to sit there and look at what black people experience compared to other trials and similar situations and not see the vast difference. And it's like, I know a lot of people, we normally have these conversations like when there are big trials and all this kind of stuff. And I don't even talk about this kind of stuff. I don't even really go down this aisle, but this one hits so close to home. Like, my son went to that school, I kind of know what's going, so it's personal, man. So it's more, I got more energetic involvement in it. But let me get back to what I was saying, man. Like, you gotta understand, I done got off track now. Oh yeah, do I think he got a fair trial? No. But do I think he should have walked? I have no idea, because nobody really knows except the kids that were there and the people that were involved. Because there's not enough information to say, what the threat level looked like. It's a million different stories. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he should be doing some kind of time, but first degree murder, I don't know. Should he be walking free? I can't say, because I wasn't in the courthouse. I didn't see the emotions. I wasn't there. So I'm not going to sit here and say he should walk. Somebody lost their life, so we have to take it seriously, right? But did he get a fair trial? Definitely not. Definitely not. And it's not that black people want to see him walk. It's just that they want the same standard as they had when Zimmerman was chasing a brother down and killed him, or when the Rittenhouse guy. That's all black people want. That's what upsets them. But what I'm saying to black people is, if you're letting it upset you, then you're playing the wrong game. And I'm not saying it doesn't disturb you, but if you're getting emotionally involved to where you wanna change it by changing the game and picketing in the game and marching across Selma, that ain't the right way to play the game, bro. That's what I was getting to. My mom put me on game, right? My mom, I'm gonna tell you, my mom is and I don't speak about my mom a lot, man. My mom is she's an alchemist for sure. Like, if there's a female word for alchemist, I guess it's just alchemist. She's an alchemist for sure, man. And she put me on game several years ago. So, quick story, man. Back when I was in high school, when I first started driving. Put this air on, man. When I first started driving, man, I was a young buck, 16 years old, and I swapped schools, man. I just went to a different high school in East Texas. I swapped over, right? And the school I went to, it was in a smaller town, and it was a little bit more redneckish. I don't call it what it is. Anyway, I was going to this school, man, and when I started driving, I'm pushing a nice whip, and that wasn't too common amongst black people at that school. You know what I'm saying? What's that? It wasn't that common. So there was this cop that kind of saw me one day, man, and for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, this guy was just pulling me over, like going to school, just driving to school, young man, 16, 17, whatever years old, and he would just pull me over, search my car. I didn't have any knowledge about the law back then. Search my car, just for he was like waiting on me, man. Anyway, this was a problem, man. Long story short, some time later, I'm at a store. I'm in a Radio Shack. I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Radio Shack. I don't know if they still open. Anyway, I'm in a Radio Shack one Saturday. I just left the gym, man. I'm sweaty. I'm in a Radio Shack looking for some stereo equipment, wires and stuff. And I'm in there for about 20 or 30 minutes, man, talking to the people, man, trying to figure out what I need. And boom, this cop he just walks through the door, right? Cop just walks through the door, man, and says, hey, I'm finna give you a ticket. I just saw you around the corner on some so-and-so road and you didn't have your seatbelt on. And I'm like, bro, I've been in here for half an hour. Like, you got me mixed up. And the guy around the corner, he's like, no, I've been sitting there talking to him for 20 minutes. He like, come outside, right? And I'm outside, man. Next thing you know, I'm in cuffs and I'm in jail. Now, I'm in cuffs, I'm in jail, and I don't get a phone call for 2 or 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the situation, man. And I'm, long story short, man, when I finally got to make that phone call like that Monday or Tuesday, I called my mom's. My mom's had some stroke. My mom knows some people with some power. We extinguished it all and went about my way. But after that situation, man, my mom started having different kind of conversations with me, man. And she was saying what I am telling you now. And what she was saying in so many words is, like, you can't just move around this planet like people aren't looking at you different. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, you can't. In other words, she was giving me the game on how I have to navigate through this world. And it wasn't no you gotta watch your back or you gotta hate these people. It was never that. Never nothing like that. It was like you have to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody, or you're not gonna make it. You have to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of it. Like your radar has to be up 24 hours a day, or you're gonna be in prison at some point in time, or you're gonna be in the court system at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of understood what she was saying back then, but not like I understand it now. A lot of stuff that I've learned from her, I've kind of changed it over and I speak a different kind of life into it. But what you have to do, man, is you have to be. When I say you're playing the wrong game, you're trying to change a system. It can't be changed. You have to create your own world. You have to create a completely different matrix. You personally or black people. You have to build a completely different world. So you can't be you can't be putting any kind of emotional energy into this world and building another world. You know what I'm saying? Like a world where the limitations you have, a world where the court systems that don't seem fair to you, and all these other things that comes with being black. You have to go and create a world where that doesn't exist. How do you think Tulsa came to be what it is? Black Wall Street. How do you think areas like that came to be? You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, Black Wall Street was not only thriving for black people, it was thriving for everybody. For some reason, when black people start building community, it's threatening. Let's keep it 100, man. It's all love here. We all brothers and sisters. I don't care what color your skin is over here. Y'all know how we roll. But for some reason, when black people come together, or when black people huddle up, when black people get a plan together, it's such a threat to civilization. Who knows why? Who cares why? You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand you got to understand the reason all these other people can build and move a certain way is because really they're moving how I'm telling you. Like, you have to create your own world where all this heartache and pain and suffering and crying in court, where it doesn't exist, and move in that energy. Like, that's the only way. But I'm gonna tell you why we can't. I'm gonna tell you why us as black people can't. We're too distracted. Everybody's distracted. You got this World Wide Web. Everybody, I don't care what color. But for some, like us as black people, we crave entertainment so much. We crave entertainment so much that we can never sit there and build something for our communities. Like if you can't build something for your communities, yeah, then you're gonna have the Chiracs. You're gonna have all that, recklessness that takes place. What else are they supposed to do? All we're focused on is spending money on women and being entertained and laughing and drinking Henny and twerking as adults. Nobody's talking about building, and we want to be entertained until a black man is going to jail and there was another race involved. Now we're you know what I'm saying? Now we're picketing. Now we're talking about justice. It's like, man, screw justice. What are you building? What are you building? Think about this. That's why I'm always saying, like when I say a man's most important questions are, who am I and where am I going? The reason I say that's important because when you're focused on who you are, where you're going, what your truth is, what you're building, you can't get emotionally evolved. You can't get emotionally involved in a system that doesn't support you. You can't do it. You can't do it. Like y'all think I'm just y'all. I guess y'all think when I'm on here on YouTube and I'm saying what I'm saying that I'm just saying it, just because I'm bored. I'm saying it because I'm bored. You don't understand, man. I'm trying to give everybody, but I'm trying to give people the keys to the kingdom, man. I'm trying to give you the keys to the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the family recipe I'm giving you. Like if you look at my mom's house, my mom's like man, and like I said, I don't talk about my mom. I've had her on YouTube on my channel once before. That was some years ago. But when I say major moves, like when I say that she's always moved in this knowledge, she's always moved in this energy. Like she can see what the world is doing, but she's building a completely different world. I've seen this my whole life, so maybe that's why it's easier to me. And I can remember, some times in life where my mom will come home, and she would say, hey, you know what, this lady of this man, she called me this, or she said this, or they doing this, So she was seeing that world, but she would vent out that, and she would get right back emotionally involved in what she was building. And she built some things. She was like, I say, well, she's still alive, healthy and strong. She's like the ladies, I don't know that movie, them ladies that work for NASA and they were in the background building all that stuff. Like that's how my mom moves, man. Like my mom has a heavy footprint in the FFA and how these planes are doing what they're doing. Heavy footprint on their own company. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the FAA. She was making power moves. Now she's retired. Big house out there in the middle of the country with several acres around it. You would think you were driving by the governor's house. You know what I'm saying? Like she's living tight. And it's all because this knowledge that she moves in. You know what I'm saying? I took that same knowledge and I move in it. Now I'm on the other side of the globe, scratching my balls while direct deposits are hitting every day. I built my own world instead of getting emotionally involved in the world that doesn't fit me. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us aren't willing to go inside one, and a lot of us aren't willing to put down the entertainment for 5 minutes to construct our own world. It's the most powerful thing. And I'm only saying this, man, is because I get on TikTok and this is what I understand. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't follow this kind of stuff. I'll see this kind of stuff in the news and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of jacked up. Like, that's foul. Everybody knows that's crooked. Everybody knows if it was a different race, different situation, it would have played off different. But then I'll back out of that and get back to business. Get back to my world. You know what I'm saying? Get back to my world. But I'll say this, over the last couple of days, man, with all this court stuff going on, and I've been involved in it more than I would get involved in any kind of thing like that. And I can tell you this, I understand. Me watching more of that content about the court case and the verdict and all that kind of stuff, I can see now, I can feel now how that pulls a people, any people, white people, black. I can see how it pulls a people out of their God element. Oh, bro, over the last 72 hours? Man, you know how many hours I had to sit right here and meditate over the last 24 hours? Brother, I've been sitting in that spot for hours getting back to center. Because just by me scrolling, trying to keep up with what's going on, it sucked me in and threw me off. For 5 minutes, when I saw that, when I could feel it, I said, oh, bro, I got to get out of this. I got to get back in God's state. So all I'm saying is you're playing the wrong game. You're playing the wrong game. And I can speak to all races. If you're sitting here, any race, and you're sitting there saying, oh, well, the prices of apples are $2.54 and da-da-da-da, and the world is doing this, and it's falling, and everything is collapsing, and gas. I'm gonna say it like this. I'll say it just like this. If you're crying or complaining about anything and it lasts more than 5 minutes, you ain't living right. You're not living right. Like the whole objective of life is for, and I said this a few videos ago, and a couple of people got offended by this, but I'm gonna say it again. If you're not living the life you desire, then I'm gonna say it like this. Let me start over. The whole objective is for us to bring our heaven up on our earth. But first, let me say this. Everybody is always living their heaven. Everybody's heaven is what they're experiencing. So there's not a time where the heaven you've created is not what you're experiencing. There's never not a time. But the thing is, you're allowing other people to control your heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like you're allowing people to put their programming into your mind. So now it's your reality. So now all you can do is respond to it. You got to get in God mode to play the game I'm talking about. Let's say that. Because for me to just say go play the game, I'm going to leave a lot of people suspended. I'm going to leave a lot of y'all running in circles. When I say you got to play a whole different game, when I say you got to create your own matrix, you got to understand, it's just not a matter of you saying, okay, let me do what Soul said and let me create this. No, brother. You got to walk that green mile first. You got to walk that green mile first. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you can't find out how to put yourself in God mode, you'll never be able to do it. You'll never be able to do it. Not what I'm talking about. If you can't put yourself in God mode, you'll never be able to do what I'm talking about. What do you mean God mode? I'm gonna tell you why you can't be in God mode. And I was saving this for a different video, and I'm gonna speak about this in a different video. But I'm gonna tell you real quick why most people. You might even hear what I'm saying now and say, huh, yeah, I kind of feel that. Let me tell you why most people can't go God mode. You can't go God mode because they've completely, when I say they, I'm talking about the system, the powers that be, the people behind the curtain, they. The reason you can't go God mode is because they dismantled your circuit board. They've taken your keyboard and they've thrown it over there. They've taken your mouse and your screen and thrown it a different way. They've taken your internet and thrown it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? They've taken your keys to this kingdom that I speak of and hidden them. So a lot of people will spend their whole lives walking around in a circle trying to get to that state that I'm talking about so they can build their own world. But you got to understand, let me be more specific about what I'm talking about. I use a computer scenario, but let me just keep it 1,000. They've told you that, and I spoke about this in A Singular Truth. They've told you that God is way out there. Yeah, God is he's in the distant heavens, and God is way out there. They've told you that Jesus was a certain thing, and Jesus was way back there, and he's dead now. Oh, Jesus is gone. They've separated your circuit board. They separated the things that you need to make that connection to build that world. That's why you can't do it. That's why you can't do it. They've given you a faulty recipe. You know what I'm saying? So when you have to make that connection, you can't make it because you're pushing up those things outside of yourself. Jesus lived way back and he died on the cross. Like, yeah, I don't know, And if you want to know about him, come over here and give me your 10%, and I'll tell you who Jesus was. Oh, God, no, God is God. No, you'll meet God in the afterlife when both of them are inside of you. When Jesus is really the other side of you, the higher side of you. When God is activated, when I've said it a billion times now, the first marriage of man, when your higher self and your lower self come together on one thought, on one belief, on one truth, God says, I am there also. You can't even summon the power you need because you're out here waiting to death to experience certain things. So a lot of what I talk about, man, it's like if you don't understand the first marriage of man, if you can't get past the barriers that are keeping you there, you'll be forever marching across Selma. Forever. Having no idea that you can create a whole new existence. A whole new existence, man. So what I started off with, man, like it's not that kind of going back to square zero. It's not that a lot of people are mad or just mad at a certain race. You got to understand this. And I'm speaking to every single race. Like you really have to understand. And this is what people that are aware, this is what they know. You have to look at things like the last video I said, you have to become an observer. Like a lot of people say, some people are playing checkers, some people are playing chess, but I said you got to step outside the game and look at the game for what it is. A lot of people have done that of all different races. And once you do that, you'll understand that, hey, you know what? Like we all in the same boat, and the powers that be are simply using this to put us against each other. Or simply using this to put us against each other. They want Asian and white and Indian and Hispanic people to think that all black people are going around throwing up gang signs, scamming and pimping hoes or whatever they think, They want black people and Hispanic people and Asian people to think that all white people are in the Klan. You know what I'm saying? And all other, stereotypical, degradable, things about each religion. But once you hit a certain level of knowledge and you above the clouds and you can look down and observe the game, you'll see your brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, sometimes they won't look like you. Sometimes you're Jonah. Sometimes your enemy is going to look just like you. Twin. Sometimes the person that really has no connection to you will look just like you and call you twin. And the man across the way that looks different than you, different demographic, prays different, it is your brother. Is the one that really looks out for you. It's a different level of awareness, man. It's a different level of awareness. It's a different game. It's a different game. You have to understand it's a completely different game you have to play. Like, go back and watch the recipe. I'm giving you the family recipe. I'm giving you the family recipe. When I get on here on these YouTube videos, and the thing is this, like a lot, when I say us black people, we want to be entertained and see what the gossip is and see who mad at who and see who got, we're so we want to be entertained so bad that it's to the point now where I have to sneak this knowledge into certain kind of videos. Women is. If I'm talking about women, it's all ears. The views are going up. So I got to talk about women and sneak some knowledge in there. I don't know, man. So you can live life how you want to, man. You can sit there and spend the next, the rest of your life getting mad at court cases or getting mad at at people of a different color, for race, for no reason. You know, you want to be mad at every. You can play that game if you want to, man, but there's no fulfillment in there. Or you can sit back and separate yourself from the game, observe it, you know, walk in the image of God and live a completely different existence. Form a completely different new truth. Form a completely different reality. Construct your own matrix. You can do that. You can do that, man.